Welcome to another marvelous episode of College Football Nation, hosted by me, Lever KT, aka the governor of college football, and we're back. The off season is here, or what everybody else like to call it, off season. I'm ready to kick it up, full-fledged, 100%, ready to go absolutely insane. We're supposed to actually be heading to Mobile right now, but the weather has had other choices and it wouldn't allow us to go because it's crazy where we're at in the DMV. It's crazy in Atlanta, and some of these cities really aren't prepared for weather like this. Shout out to my dog D now. After Patriots, I see Jalen putting the Buffalo Bills colors in there, but after Patriots, it is what it is. You guys will lose in the Super Bowl to Seattle. Whatever. We got a lot to talk about. I'm kicking things up full-fledged, moving this show from 6:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Sundays, we got College Football Nation, 6 p.m. Tuesdays, College Football Nation, 6 p.m. Thursdays, College Football Nation, 6 p.m. And then Governor of College Football, 6 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. So that's 5 days a week. We're here. And not to mention, we do overreaction twice a week. I got College Football Nation once a week. So kick it up in high gear. I'm ready to go. Let's get it. So Indiana had a storybook ending. Kind of talked about this on College Football Showdown. We do that show every Thursday, 2 p.m., really like 2:15 p.m. every Thursday. And shout out to them. To me, Kirk Signetti is American made. I'm going to talk more about this. This show was more of like quick thoughts, reactionary. I got 3 minutes for each segment. Governor of College Football is more drawn out. So on that show, I get to really get into it the way I want to. But yeah, storybook ending. Kirk Signetti truly is American made. Just to see what he's been able to do in such short time. College football is a very much of what have you done for me now sport. It will continue to be very much what have you done for me now lately sport. And Kirk Signetti, to be able to turn that thing around so quickly in Bloomington, to me has been absolutely fantastic, and it's incredible. So Jalen, I'm glad you're happy, bro. You guys aren't winning a Super Bowl. Like pipe down, bro. Calm down. And to me, it's super incredible what Kirk Signetti and this program has been able to do. The success he had with Curtis Rourke in year one, Elijah Surratt, some of those pieces that he brought over from JMU, to me, were super incredible that he was able to do that in such short time. But I think those pieces that he brought over, the people who believed in him and saw what he was able to do there and VA, I believe, installed the nucleus that he wanted to build in Indiana. And the fact of the matter is, it's amazing to see what he's done. Storybook ending. Great job, Miami. I don't want to leave without saying this. I have questioned Mario Cristobal. Others on our platform has questioned Mario Cristobal. He did an outstanding job. Truly did. Let's get to our next segment. To me, this isn't argumentative. This is something that we shouldn't even have to debate or discuss. Big Ten is king in college football, and whether you all want to believe that or not, that's on you. The onus is on you 1,000%. But in my opinion, the Big Ten, and D Now's been saying this for years now, the Big Ten is the best conference in college football. Make no mistake about it. There's nothing to even argue about. There's nothing to discuss here. And I know SEC fans are going to talk about the gauntlet, and I understand, yes, that gauntlet is really difficult that they go through, especially what they got to go through now with the 9 games plus that 10 power conference opponent game or Notre Dame. I get it, but the Big Ten has won 3 back-to-back national championships, and it seems that the SEC has struggled with this 12-team format. They have a losing record. I saw the stat earlier. They're maybe like 2-7 or something like that since we switched to the new format of the college football playoff. Big Ten is king, and the scary part about the Big Ten, some of these lower-level teams are going to become middle-level teams. Like, if you guys don't believe what Pat Fitzgerald is about to do in East Lansing, wait, just watch. I promise you're going to see what he does. He's going to get that turnaround that we thought he was going to get with Jonathan Smith in East Lansing. He's absolutely going to get that turnaround to happen. And it's going to happen almost overnight. Because you see how they're moving pieces. The ideology of roster construction has changed where you want to build out of high school. Yes, you do. That has to be some of your team. That's how true development and that transformational coaching happen. But the fact of the matter is, if you're not transactional coaching, it is what it is. USC will be right there in the thick of things next year. When we think about teams on the back of our minds, national championship wise, the UGAs is going to cross your mind. The pieces that Texas have been able to add, this portal season, they're going to cross the back of your mind. But guess who's going to be in the front of your mind? Indiana, with the pieces that they're able to get, right? They're in the front of your mind. Oregon, best quarterback room in the country. That's in the front of your mind. When you start to think about things like that, and Ohio State, they're still in the front of your mind, but there's some teams there. Iowa, Kirk Ferentz, love him or hate him, every year his team is going to play, and they're going to play well. If they can get any stability offensively, you can look out for Iowa to make that move, you know what I'm saying, to the upper echelon. And I think when you look over the last 12 years, the domination that they had there, and Phil Parker, the defense coordinator, has had a lot to do with that. But Big Ten is king in college football. A lot of people not ready to admit that because college football historically has been a southeastern game. And that's something that part of the nation has been able to hold on to. But the fact of the matter is, Big Ten is here, and they're here to stay. Jalen, I'm going to go to the comment section. I wish college football had a Big Ten versus SEC, like how college basketball has a Big Ten versus Big 12 week. That would be phenomenal. If they decided to make that, even though I want Bedlam back, and I hope that Oklahoma and Oklahoma State does what's right to get Bedlam back because they have the opportunity to get Bedlam back, but that would be fantastic to do. We're 15 points for being a playoff team. I agree, D-Now. I absolutely agree. You look at the Oregon game, you guys should have beat them. You look at the Indiana game, definitely had opportunities against them. And really, the only team this year to make Indiana look remotely unstoppable was that team in Iowa City, in Iowa. And I remember, I think the last play ended on Mendoza running back for a safety, like 40-something yards. So, yes, Iowa will be right there in the thick of things. You guys know how I feel about USC. PJ Fleck in Minnesota, if they could just figure a few things out, they could be there as well. But, yeah, Big Ten is king in college football. Make no doubt about it. Make no mistake about it. All right, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has done – a lot of people aren't Lane Kiffin fans. You know, narratives over Bedlam. Bro, Bedlam, I miss Bedlam this year, bro. It was one of the few things that college, even though Oklahoma State was pure garbage this year, we needed Bedlam this year, bro. We needed Bedlam. But, yeah, Lane Kiffin, outstanding job he's done this portal season. They've had 40 total transfers incoming this year, 37 outgoing. Did they lose any pivotal pieces in the outgoing? I don't think they were deemed as pivotal pieces. But some of the pieces that they do have there, they just got the kid, Jordan Seaton, tackle from Colorado, and this kid is the real deal. I seen him at Big 12 Media Days last year. He's one of the few people who, on paper, their size matches what they look like in person. He's certainly one of those people. And then Chase Brown, kid they got from Kansas State, stud wide receiver, and you pair him with a guy like Eugene Wilson, stud wide receiver, and you pair that with a guy that, if he can get it right and figure it out, and Sam Leavitt, and I think Sam Leavitt, when playing correctly, is an outstanding quarterback. He has all the tools and his skill set to be extremely successful. And we know that Lane Kiffin offensively don't miss. You're going to play with great tempo. Their defense is going to be phenomenal again this year. I know they're losing talent, but they've received a lot of talent. Also, Prince Will Nealon, who went, to Ole Miss, similar to the way his brother did, Princely, and then now he followed Lane Kiffin to LSU. I'll tell you this. Charlie Weiss is an outstanding offensive coordinator. What they were able to do, if Lane Kiffin can win that mental battle with Sam Leavitt, look out for this LSU team. If he can just win that mental battle, and I know he will, because he's going to hold Sam Leavitt to a higher level of accountability that he's ever been held to, whether in the East Lansing or at Arizona State. And that's no diss to Kenny Dillingham. I think he's an outstanding coach, but I think LSU has the resources that, play stupid if you want to, we will figure it out with or without you. I think they have the resources where Arizona State couldn't do that. Ask Dabo how Lane get some of those transfers. That's funny. Yeah, Dabo's pissed off. He's hot. I'm actually doing a segment about that on today's show in a little bit, and then tomorrow's show on Governor College Football, we're doing a lot of it, and it's going to be crazy. But shout out to Lane Kiffin, what he's been able to do. Hate him or love him, he has a stronghold on college football. Ask Jalen who's the best coach in college football, and then, I think the correct answer for anybody is Kirby Smart, but Kirk Cincinnati is right there. What he's able to been able to do in such a short period of time at a place where resources weren't plentiful, all of a sudden they are plentiful because now the boosters and the donors believe in the guy that's at the helm. But I tell you, LSU is going to be damn good next year. Lane Kiffin has done an outstanding job. I can't believe he's been able to get 40 portal guys so far this season, and they're going to be really damn good. I tell you that. So Can Lane Kiffin win a mental battle with Sam Levitt? That's going to be the most important thing. Speaking of Dabo Swinney is pissed off, and Dabo Swinney has a right to be pissed off. And me and my dog Jalen was talking about this on the phone earlier, and I love having conversations on the phone, or like even in our chat where like, or say something, or D-Now, who always has great intel and great takes on a lot of his well-developed takes. I think when I think of D-Now and him as a media personality, I think of a person, one, who's knowledgeable because he always knows what's going on. Kind of my insider, to be honest with you, but also someone who takes their time in developing a take, and he understands how to develop a take. This Dabo Swinney thing is very interesting. It's super interesting. Yeah, that's the key, Jalen. I think that's an outstanding point. Eugene Wilson hasn't had much of a QB and hasn't had. Yes, I agree. I agree with that 100%. This system fits him. I think it's a hand and glove fit, to be honest with you. But Dabo Swinney, he's got a reason to be pissed, man. And this is all over Cal transfer linebacker Luke Farrelly, who entered the portal just like everybody did on January 2nd. When the portal opened, and on January 6th, he had committed to Clemson. Right? It was a foregone conclusion. Then he re-entered the portal on January 22nd after allegedly, I don't know if this is truth. I try to, we hold these truths to be self-evident, right? That's what we try to do on all of my shows. I don't know if this is fact, fiction, or truth. But allegedly, Pete Golden texts Farrelly and says, and I quote, "I know you're signed, but what's your buyout? The boosters in Ole Miss are believing. The donors in Ole Miss are believing." And Jalen had such a fantastic quote on our show last Thursday. He said he thought NIL was going to be legitimate corporations, your local car spot, your local coffee spot, you're doing local TV ads. I thought that too, to be legitimate NIL. Now it's starting to look like it's pay for play, what we've thought all along. And I know a lot of people want to place blame, place accountability, place onus on Charlie Baker and the NCAA. And I blame Charlie Baker for a lot. I really do. I blame him and his team for a lot, because I feel like at times they show they don't like college football. But this isn't the version of college football they wanted. They wanted that respect to amateurism. That's 100% what they wanted. They didn't want this pay for play thing. They didn't want this NIL thing. They didn't want this portal thing. But they said, if this is what you guys want, here, and we're going to leave it alone. So I'm not sure how you fix this. Dabo Swinney and Fran Brown had similar comments. Fran Brown comment as it pertains to poaching and tampering and texting his players was like, yo, you mess with my players, you going to hear from me. You know what I'm saying? And where I'm from, that means, hey, bro, you going to have to see me. You going to have to stand on these words. When we play each other and we go meet at the 50-yard line, I might snuff you. I might punch you in your face. And, yes, maybe a Zachariah Branch situation, too. That's a good one as well, Jalen. But, yeah, I understand that. The neighborhood that I'm from, the environment that I grew up in, I understand that 1,000%. I really do. Like, yeah, that's where I come from. Dabo Swinney said the same statement, but he said it in such a political correct nature. It was hilarious. You poach or tamper my players, I'm going to report it to the authorities. Like, I'm snitching, bro. I'm going 100% 6'9". That's what Dabo Swinney said. I ain't said I don't snitch. But Dabo Swinney said he's snitching, man. So this thing is going to be really interesting. I've said it all along. We've said it all along here on our platform that we truly believe that college football needs some type of commission other than the NCAA, with the commissioner and a cabinet of people who's going to call this thing fair, regardless to affiliation, what school you went to, what school you're a donator for. Call it like it is. If you violate these said rules, then yes, it's going to be BTA. So just interesting to see how this goes. I'm going to go way more in depth with this situation on Governor College Football tomorrow, so you guys stay tuned for that. That show will be from 6 p.m. tomorrow to 7 p.m. This one is just to 6:30. Alrighty, college football playoffs staying at 12 teams. How's everybody feeling about that? In my opinion, I believe it's the right decision. I wasn't a fan of when they went to it at 12, but now that I see it, I am a fan of it going to 12. But we have a couple major differences. First things first, let's handle Notre Dame and the crybaby sissified people up there in South Bend. Not the people, but I'm talking about the team. Because if they are a top 12 team, they are automatic bid to make the playoff, with their signing with MOU. We all know about that. They're automatic. If they're a top 12 team, and y'all not hearing this properly, because you're talking about a top 12 team, and keep in mind they still gotta let the top G5 ranked team get into the playoff as well. Another key moment here, and we know that this is Big Ten, SEC behind this 100%. I'm sure the ACC with it. Power 4 conference champions winners are automatically guaranteed. They're not guaranteed the auto, where they get to skip a week, but they're automatically in. So we would have had Duke in this year, no JMU. We would have had Notre Dame in this year, no Miami. And look at the incredible run Miami had won on. Miami was the better team than Notre Dame this year. It is what it is. I don't care how people feel about it. So CFP staying at 12, I think that's absolutely amazing. I think that's where it needs to be at. And you can kind of see the power players here. Why isn't Notre Dame getting more kickback from other teams? We saw that USC said, no. You guys don't want to play on week 0. You're not going to play us during the core of our schedule, where this week we got to go play Oregon, and next week we got to go play Washington. And we had a bye, but now we got to play Notre Dame in between playing those two. Those are 3 great programs, outstanding college football programs. So why would we do that? So Notre Dame didn't want to play on week 0, but we didn't play on week 0 a couple years ago when they played Navy on week 0. They was cool playing Navy week 0. They don't want to play USC week 0. But then people get mad at me because I say Keyshawn Johnson, you're wrong. And everybody want to say Governor, you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? My dog Lever Weeze in the building. Shout out to my dog Weeze. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with this. I love that CFP staying at 12. I think it needs to stay at 12. We knew that there were some fundamental things that needed correct. I'm sorry to everybody who loves the G6, G7, G5, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it the G6 now. And I'm a fan of the G6. We talk about the G6 all the time on all of our shows. Moon does a great job on the world of college football talking about the G6, FCS as well. But they only should get one team in. I think the G6 need a college football playoff of their own. If they can figure that out schematically, I've been a huge fan of that. But college football playoff stays at 12. I hate that Notre Dame, if they're top 12, they get an automatic bid, because a really good team is going to miss out on the playoffs. Not saying Notre Dame isn't worthy. Hey, if they worthy, they're worthy. But, you shouldn't have no agreements with what we have in place. So Duke would have made it at 7-5 this year. That would have been crazy. Casey, quick question. Why are you not a fan of Notre Dame being independent? That's a great question. I hate Notre Dame being independent, and I get it. The TV money, when you think of college football for a myriad of years, one of the first team that comes to mind is Notre Dame. Like, this is dated back, my dad would tell me stories since he was a kid. They've been on NBC for a very long time. All of their games are nationally televised. But you are, in every other sport, you are a member of a conference. The ACC is the conference you are. But you all are so special in football, you want to remain independent. And typically, you guys play a pretty decent gauntlet. But you have like this year, dude, you have a cupcake schedule, bro. It is what it is. Join the conference. And the reason they don't want to join the conference is they'll get exposed a little bit. That, in my humble opinion, they will. Now, there's been years Notre Dame has absolutely been worthy of going to a college football playoff. Hell, they could have been worthy this year. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to count head-to-head as one of your metrics, as well as your strength of schedule, head-to-head, they lost to Miami. If those are two teams they picking against, then it should go Miami. Whether you like it or not, when you look at who had the better wins between Notre Dame and Alabama went to Athens and beat Georgia. So that canceled that one out as well. So that's a great question, Jalen. I appreciate that. So we're going to do a quick look at the Senior Bowl roster. We actually should be arriving in Mobile sometime late night tonight, early morning. But like I said, with the weather on the East Coast, and it's affecting a lot of us, honestly, and in the Midwest as well. It's and in the southern part of the country. I think Arkansas is getting snow. And places like that aren't equipped to handle the snow like they are. Illinois, they're really equipped. Or Denali and Toledo, they're really equipped. Here, we're kind of equipped. The side roads won't get done, but the main roads will. So we're going to talk about this quarterback room and running back room, wide receivers, tight end from Senior Bowl. I was really excited to go, to be honest with you. Peyton Cole from North Dakota State is there. Diego Pavia. I'm not sure. I haven't heard any updates if he actually ended up coming, but he's supposed to be there. Guy from Vandy. Huge fan of Diego Pavia. I really love what he's done for. It's like DDG's album, Take Me Serious. Like, I feel like now everybody takes Vandy football serious, and I believe that Barton Simmons, their general manager, or athletic director, I forgot what he was, Clark Lee, and Diego Pavia, now people are taking that team in Nashville very serious. We got Luke Altmaier, a guy that I'm a huge fan of, Illinois. I thought he played his heart out his last few years. And Champagne, and I even thought even the little bit of time he got during his time at Ole Miss, he was impressive as well. Sawyer Robinson, I've been a huge fan of his for a very long time. I see a lot of people do film of him, and they say he doesn't get through progressions. I guess we didn't watch the same film, because I think he gets through progressions pretty well. Van ain't going nowhere with Jared Curtis. We got Taylor Green from Arkansas. I believe this is a kid that can really impress with the measurables. And I'm talking about height, weight, speed. I think this is a guy, if he ran at the combine, people would be like, hey, you interested in playing wide receiver or tight end or something like that? I think Taylor Green can have the ability to be very successful here in the Senior Bowl as well as combine, post everywhere else. Let's talk about the running back room. We got Adam Randall. I think he will always have a career in the NFL because his ability to be a third down back and catch out of the backfield. I think he's truly incredible. Did I go to the next one? I don't think I did. We're talking about running backs now. My fault. Seth McGowan, Kentucky. Jamari Taylor's a guy I like a lot from UVA. Really good between the tackles. Can make the first guy miss, and he can run through you as well. I think he's a physical running back despite the size. Rasul Faison, South Carolina, underutilized. That offense was just doomed with Mike Shula being the offensive coordinator there. I mean, hell, the staff and the students had to throw a fire Mike Shula thing before they actually decided, hey, he needs to go. Like him, it's with Mike Coleman, running back from Arkansas. He's another guy, a great player on a bad team. I think it'll be incredible to see how well he does there. Le'Veon Moss, Texas A&M, injured most of the season this year. Outstanding running back. I think he'll thrive here. We got Katron Allen from Penn State, Nick Singleton, Penn State, and J.M. Miller. So there's some big names. This running back room is loaded, and this was one of the positions I was most excited for heading into Senior Bowl, just to look at that running back room. We got a question in the chat. Van ain't going nowhere with Jared Curtis. And what players do you think draft stock could rise in here? We're about to talk about the wide receivers. I think there's a myriad of wide receivers that could really rise here. When you look at traditionally, the Senior Bowl has kind of always been these GMs want to see the taller corners. They want to see the 6-foot corners, 6'1" corners. 6'2" corners. The kid that I interviewed a couple years ago from Kansas State, Juju, he played at Iowa, then went to Kansas State. Like, he was like a taller cornerback, and he truly helped his stock at the Senior Bowl. He ended up getting drafted in like the second round or something like that by the Colts. But for me, it's somebody like Casey Concepcion, somebody that's a route artist. Casey Concepcion is going to kill at the Senior Bowl, in my opinion. If he's still going, I haven't gotten an updated list. This was the list I did a few days ago. Another guy is Deion Burks. He's a shorter wide receiver from Oklahoma. He can get off the line, create separation. I think he'll be phenomenal as well. I'm interested to see how well Josh Cameron plays, because he's not the tallest wide receiver. He's 6'1", but he looks like a running back when you look at him. He looks like a running back. So I'm interested to see how he does versus these guys. Romello Brenson is another guy from SMU. I think that's kind of been a victim of the system that they run down there, heavy RPO system. So I'm interested to see what those receivers can do. It'll be taller corners that they're playing against, but if they could continue to win at the line of scrimmage, I think they're going to make themselves a lot of money, and they could truly help their draft stock. But yes, there's a lot of great receivers going there. I mentioned a lot of them. Jordan Hudson will be there, and Aaron Anderson could really help his stock with a good one here. Jacoby Lane will be there as well. Elijah Surratt, he lost himself some money during the national championship. He's going to have to perform if he's still going here. Lewis Bond is there as well. Barry Brown is another guy. He's got tremendous speed. Will he win in press coverage versus these taller corners? That is going to be the question that a lot of people are going to be asking. And DBs, I'll give you that answer tomorrow. We'll talk about the DBs tomorrow. So, yes, that's a few that I believe that can rise. And let's talk about the tight ends. So, incredible room overall. I really like a lot of these position groups. I'm truly upset that I'm unable to go to the Senior Bowl this year, because this is the first year, like, it wasn't work-related why I couldn't go. Like, I was 100% ready to go. But this weather is crazy. It's like icing up here as of now. And I thought I put the tight ends on my list. I did not put the tight ends on my list. So let's go to the game roster and see what we got here. And then I'll tell you the tight ends. They may have it broken up by national and American team. So we'll look at the national team tight ends, then the American team tight ends, and then we'll get out of here. So on one team, we have Tanner Kazole, the kid that was at Ball State, transferred to Wisconsin, then transferred again to Houston. I think he ended up making the right decision. Justin Jolly from NC State, DJ Rogers from TCU, Nate Burkircher from Texas A&M, Matthew Hemner from SMU is also there. And then we're going to go back and then see who's on the American side of things. And I know Trigg is here. I think Trigg is going to be the stud in his room, to be honest with you. Is he still going? We got Dan Villari from Syracuse. Seen him in person. Sam Roosh from Stanford, Alabama. Josh Cuevas is going as well. John Michael Gillenborg from Wyoming. Will Kamarek is also going as well. I guess Trigg backed out. I was excited to see Trigg there because he's going to get a lot of questions about his route tree, to be honest with you. Just because that air raid is such a unique system. You don't run a lot of crazy routes as tight end. It's typically the cross and the white cross. We know they run a lot of the side fades and the 66. So I'll be interested to see if how good his route tree truly is. So appreciate you guys on this episode. Been a really fun episode. I feel like we kind of flew through this bad boy. Y'all got any questions down in the chat? So any DBs I see rising, like I said, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I think that'll be interesting. But kind of mad I'm not there, but at the same time, I think nothing happens on accident. I think this is purpose. I was able to really get back into the thing of things. I've been grinding and working so much, getting ready for Senior Bowl. I hadn't had time for the content, so this morning I was able to map out my content for the week. We're doing a reaction tomorrow, as well as I'm doing Governor College Football tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. I really enjoy my Mondays and Tuesdays when I get to talk to the game. So, as I always like to say, there are no more victories in the sport that survive and advance. That's why college football has the greatest regular season. Until next time, you all take care. We'll see you guys on Tuesday night for this show at 6 p.m. I'll also be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Governor College Football. You all take care.